Hey everyone, I'm here with Donny Woligroski. He is product manager, right?
Yep,
Product manager from AMD. I think we're going to start off with a softball question. Would you say that you won CES over AMD or over Intel and Qualcomm?
I don't want to sound like a jerk, but yeah.
All right,
I think
exactly.
we did pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I give you a softball question,
I appreciate it.
Okay, so we're starting off on a good note here. All right, so we're talking about just a few cool things. Let's start out with probably the surprise hit of the last few months, the HX 3D. So this is the product that was launched and it just vanished immediately, right? So
it did. It's as fast as we can make them, they're getting sold.
Exactly.
And we've made a lot.
Right. Yeah. So we started off here. We've got two new chips. We've got the 9950 X3D, the 9900 X3D. So you've got. We're obviously not talking about pricing yet, but we should expect them to be higher than the 479 of the original. So what does this do for the supply situation, first of all? Because we've got now even higher premium SKUs, but they're probably going to be in even shorter supply, right?
Sure, and it'll well, I wouldn't say shorter supply automatically, right? We've seen what's happened, and we've been ordering more.
Okay.
And so we're ramping.
Right.
So by the time these hit shelves, if we've done our jobs and hopefully we are able to get the material, then absolutely we should have some.
So let's talk about, so originally what caused the discrepancy in supply and demand? Because did you guys simply just not anticipate the incredible demand for this part and just that was it?
I think yeah, that's a piece of it, right?
Okay.
It's it's positioned at the highest possible level of gaming. It's not a bargain basement part, right? Like this is if you're a gamer, you want to have this.
Yep.
I just think the amount of demand did supply us a bit. But like I said, we're ramping up. We're doing everything we can. I mean, in some markets, X3D is oversold the whole rest of the X inventory, which blows my mind. But
exactly.
But it's a great testament to how great the part is.
I mean, the thing just absolutely kicked butt in terms of performance. Not only, gaming is where it was sort of pointed at, but productivity applications, it just destroyed everything as well.
It did really well. That's true.
Is that one of these chips you were getting?
So this is the new one.
All right, so this is a new one.
It's a little different because it's got two what we call CCDs. So 16 cores instead of 8. One of these behind the top has 3D V cache. The other one does not.
Okay.
So we get the benefits of both. We get the higher clocks, now slightly higher because having the V cache on bottom has allowed us to crank up the clock speeds a bit on the V cache version. At the end of the day, this is just the one chip to rule them all. So it used to be, hey, the 7950 X3D was really good for gaming and content creation was okay.
Right.
But if you really wanted content creation, you get the 7950X because it could spool higher. And this would be, no difference really, no noticeable difference between the non-X 3D part when it comes to content creation, using all those 16 cores, those 32 threads. But, across the average of games, it's within the noise versus the 9800 X3D. So you've got that same great gaming experience. You've got top tier content creation experience.
Is it at all possible to talk pricing at this point in time? I mean, obviously it goes up from there. It goes up from there. But how far up?
We can talk about it, but I'd be making something up. I honestly don't know, and they're probably still working it. So.
Well, that's the other thing too. So obviously you've got these parts announced. You guys are only like this. It's like this poker game, right? Because you have to lay down your cards, and the competitors have to lay down their cards, and then you don't necessarily announce pricing, and then you have to figure out, okay, what's your hand worth, and then when are you going to announce? When are you going to actually roll it out? I mean, it's a complicated process.
It is. It feels like it's getting more complicated over time, but
especially
you're a big business. It matters. You're trying to do the right thing for the consumer. You're trying to make the margin so you can make more and better parts and invest in R&D and. So there's definitely a balance to be struck, but we did a good job with pricing, I think. I feel like on 9800 X3D, so I don't think this will disappoint anybody.
So you're going to roll out this later this quarter, is that right?
We said March, I believe.
Okay, so it's specifically March.
Yeah, specifically March.
Okay, that's great. So what do we, what are we taking away from all this? That just the market loves stacked cache? Is that what the sort of the takeaway from this? Because it seems like it.
To me, I think the market loves the best you can get, right?
Okay,
not everybody is a technophile. Most people who are gamers don't necessarily They're not sitting in that Venn diagram of people who are enthusiastic about hardware.
Sure.
They just care about gaming, and if all you care about is gaming, whether or not you're an enthusiast, this is what you get. If you want to be a competitive gamer, if smoothness matters, this is what you get. And so, but it surprised me too.
Yeah.
The massive reach for this, and I think that, the whole environment is important that we're in today, and our competition isn't anywhere close to it. So all of this factors together, but it's pretty cool.
I don't want to belabor the point, but as far as the supply situation is going on, so you obviously sort of just had what you had the first generation. For these new parts, did you basically say, hey, we're going to need a lot more of them, or did you say, let me put it this way, there's two ways it could go, I suppose. So either you say, hey, look, we're going to have more additional silicon for people to choose from, that alleviates the supply on the older parts, or you can say, look, we're just going to slice the additional supply down even further. So I guess my question is along the way is, how do you see these two new additional parts solving or complicating the existing supply?
From a supply standpoint, so first of all, I have to caveat this. Like, I'm not the guy who orders these things.
No, I understand. But you've been in this business for a
But
while.
what I can say, and what I've seen, like, it takes time to make silicon.
Right.
So it's not like we can call up TSMC and say, hey, we need 200,000 units of X3D tomorrow. Like, that's not how it works. So,
Yeah, right.
There's a lead time and there's a ramp up time, and not that they're not, like, TSMC is a great partner to work with. They will work with us and shift what their priorities are with us, and that's very helpful. So we just, all we can do is our best. We're human beings, but on the plus side, like, it's become very apparent that this is a very desirable product,
Sure.
right? So the people in the business unit are very aware, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that we have as much as we can. Because we sell everything we make at this point, so
absolutely,
we're highly incentivized to make more.
Yeah.
To be frank.
What's the cooling solutions look like for these additional parts? Still the same, or how are we? I mean, the TDPs have gone up fairly significantly.
Not necessarily. So
120 to 170. Okay.
yeah, 120, 170. So
Right.
last gen was also, well, pardon me. So what I should say is the X parts, the TDPs, were about the same, 170, 120,
Okay.
and with the same segment. The cache being below allows us to use those higher TDPs, and the chips can still operate, and we're not being conservative because the Vcache is on top.
Sure.
Now that the Vcache is below, it's much cooler and everything's working great, and so yes, so you've got that extra TDP. It can use the extra TDP, which is really important. It can scale up to those difficult workloads, and it's just, because of that, it's just the perfect all-round highest end chip.
Sure.
And it's very, it's cathartic almost to have just, if you want the best thing, this is it now. It's
Yeah,
not.
right. It's true. You know where it is.
It's not confusing.
Right,
This
yeah.
is the best thing.
Yeah.
Just go buy it if that's what your thing is. If you want the best thing and you can afford it,
Yeah.
why not buy the best thing?
I agree. So that's on the desktop. Mobile, you've got a similar part, right? So you've got.
Yes, we do.
Yep. So fire range, the 9955 HX3D.
That's right.
Lovely
This
little
guy.
piece of yeah, exactly. So Zen 5, 16 cores, 32 threads, 96 megabytes of cache, I believe it is. But it's smaller graphics, 2 CUs.
Well, no, it actually, same graphics. So remember, these chips aren't really made for graphics fidelity. They will all get paired with a discrete graphics
Right,
card,
right.
unless it's being used in a commercial system. But when it comes to the laptop, it will always be probably a gaming system or content creator system with a massive discrete GPU.
Yep.
Exact same configuration as the desktop 9950 X3D. The
Oh, my
99
mistake too. 144. I
Yeah,
think it was.
144 megs of cache.
I misspoke. Not 96.
16 cores,
Yeah, right.
32 threads. The clock speed will be a little lower.
Yep.
Because it's in a mobile form factor, and we're
Exactly.
limited to about 55 watts nominal TDP. But that's not crazy high. It's not crazy low. It's just, but the beauty of these parts, especially with X3D, is you get even more benefit comparatively as you pull down the power. Because as you pull down the clocks and reduce the power, the 3D cache becomes even more important to lower latency, because you're increasing latency in some way. So
Right.
far and away, zero doubt in my mind, this is going to be the fastest gaming laptop you can
yeah,
buy. Like
absolutely,
there's nothing that can touch it in desktop or laptop form factors. This is the king.
At least absolutely, at least on paper. Now you also have the 9955HX, so similar part. What's the thing? What's the reason for both of those, as opposed to making a whole SKU HX,
Sure.
the whole stack HX3D?
I think the best way to describe it is, I mean, these will always be in a laptop, so we're not selling these boxed to consumers. And so we've learned a thing or two about simplifying things for the consumer. And instead of having, do I want X, X3D, do I want this? Hey, X3D is at the top, that's the best, fastest thing you can get. Below that is very fast. Below that is a few less cores and still very fast. And just keeping it simple, honestly, is the best thing.
Now, I think earlier on with these parts, I mean, you guys have never had quite as much penetration in the gaming notebook space as Core HX from Intel. Hopefully, what can you do to sort of increase the penetration this time around? Just basically tell people, hey, we have the fastest part, and that's it?
I mean, that's part of it. At AMD, we are very focused on making the fastest hardware, the best high performance hardware, the most efficient hardware, and it, depending on the class notebook you want to do. And that's, I think, the best lever you can pull is just make something better than the other guy, and people will ask for it. And we've seen that has certainly increased over time, right? When we first entered the market with Ryzen, people weren't asking for it so much, but they were like, yeah, that's pretty good. And we're at a point now where a lot of people will be like, hey, I want Ryzen. It's really good. I've heard it was really good, and it is really good. And so it'll happen.
So 16 cores, 32 threads, would you say that's the top of the stack, or is there still room for a little bit more?
I think for a laptop in today's environment, I think if we made more in a laptop, I think your TDP would be so low that it would probably be very limited once you started to go wide. So it's probably the best place we can be right now. Is that going to change? Of course, it all changes over time.
Sure.
And, who knows what's going to be there in a few years. But for now, this is the best you can get.
What memory is it paired with again?
So this will be DDR5.
5, okay.
In the
no LP at all.
Nope.
Then. Yep.
Just a DDR5 part.
Got it. Okay, cool. So one of the more interesting parts that we have right now that you launched here is Strix Halo, the Ryzen AI Max, the Ryzen AI Max Plus at the top, which I don't really know what the plus stands for, but I guess the plus is better. Anyways, this is a really interesting part because it seems like, in the past, the way I've kind of thought about it is that in the past we had Threadripper, which of course is on your shirt right now, and Threadripper was basically designed to just put Mondo cores and Mondo threads in a single part and just the sky's the limit as far as this is concerned. This is a little bit interesting because this is kind of like, a little bit like, in my mind, like Threadripper for the AI generation, because you've got a strong CPU core, but you've also got a nice big old GPU and then an NPU to go along with it. So I know you guys are sort of positioning this as sort of as a workstation in sort of a mobile form factor, but just give me a sense for give me a sense for what Strix Halo is. What is the Ryzen AI Max? How would you characterize it?
In the simplest terms, it's a really new kind of product for the Windows ecosystem.
Right.
There's never been anything quite like this.
No, there hasn't been.
And so it is hard to describe to people because people have, is it a gaming laptop or is it a content creator laptop?
Right.
Or is it my mom's laptop? Like, which is it? I know what laptops are.
No, it's not your mom's laptop.
And I have to say, it's none of those things, right?
Right.
And the best thing I can do is pick it up and show you.
Sure.
So here we have the HP ZBook Ultra G1A. And to look at it, it's just very unassuming.
Yeah, it's an ordinary clamshell.
Ordinary clamshell, and why would this be, why is Donny all excited about this? Donny's excited about this because to get the power, to get the 16-core, 32-thread CPU power, you would straight up need a giant, much larger, much thicker, much heavier gaming laptop or content creation laptop with discrete graphics. So right out of the gate, your CPU power is top notch.
Yeah.
So you've got literally the power of a workstation here. So for somebody who does stuff like YouTube video, like you guys do,
right.
Imagine being able to put this in a backpack and it not bothering you. Also, no giant power brick, right? You don't need a giant power brick when you're within a nice 55-watt TDP. For graphics and CPU, that's both, because the graphics are also part of the chip. And the graphics are also completely revolutionary 40 graphics CUs. That's more than twice.
I know, that's crazy.
What we have in our leading parts in the Ryzen AI 300 series in the Ryzen 9 segment.
Right.
So this is a whole new tier of graphics, a whole new tier of memory bandwidth, twice the width of the memory bandwidth bus. So instead of 128-bit, this is 256-bit. And that means, I mean, geez, for gaming especially, right? You're very much bandwidth limited. This is about the same bandwidth as, let's say a GeForce 4070 mobile. Wow, right? So you've got all this bandwidth, you've got all the CPU. We also allow you to do some funky things for developers, like you can assign 96 gigabytes of graphics memory dedicated to the GPU. I don't even think there's a 96 gigabyte graphics card you can buy, right? So for an AI developer, somebody who wants to run really large models, this can do things that nothing else can do.
Right.
Now, this is lighter and thinner and livable, and I can take this to my office and I can use it all day, and then I can play games on it without a massive power brick. I can play games with a cell phone charger for all day, like a 60-watt cell phone charger.
Well, the thing that really struck me was the fact that you guys showed off 3 demo devices, and there, I think all 3 of them were made by HP, or at least 2 of them were.
2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of the 3.
So one was that this clamshell down with the The other one is a small form factor. I don't even know if it's a small form factor desktop. It's a decently sized,
I think it's
aggressive.
3 liter or something.
Right. Yeah, 3 liters.
About
exactly.
this big.
Yeah. But it's an aggressively looking desktop machine. And then I think there was a tablet that you guys.
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
So this is the Asus.
I mean, it's hard to believe that such a Mondo chip would fit inside
Detachable
all 3
keyboard.
of those things. I mean, that's not the thinnest tablet in the world, but
No,
I mean, still.
but you've got a lot of opportunity to dissipate heat. I love the way Asus has put the fans on the top of this.
Yeah,
So if you do want to sit it on your lap, it's basically like a Surface form factor, right?
Aggressive cooling in the back there.
And I have played with this thing once again, 65-watt phone charger, not a massive brick. If you want to just do it on the go, sat it on my lap in a bed in a hotel room, and with a game controller, and I've played some games on this, and it's really unlike anything else.
Yeah, it is.
That you could get. Asus has done a great job making something really interesting, and that's the point of this, is that if I want to live with something as somebody who does really heavy workloads, this changes my experience. Now, is it for everybody? No. If all you do is game, get a gaming laptop, and if all you do is you never move your laptop, then get a giant content creator laptop with a larger screen. But the fact is, it's really compelling when you understand the use case, and that matters to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing I wanted to note too is that you pointed out the large frame buffer and so forth. I mean, you guys were comparing against to running a what was it?
4090.
Yeah, a 4090, but just a large language model on a 4090, and at a substantially less. It was in the 80% range, I believe, was less power.
Yeah, like 20% the power-ish.
27% the power.
Twice the performance.
Exactly. Right.
And that's because.
Yeah.
These large language models. Now that was a 70 billion parameter model,
right? That's
running
not small.
locally.
Yeah, that's
right?
not small at all.
And of course, it won't even fit into the desktop graphics,
Exactly.
so it has to do a lot of swapping.
Yep.
And that's why this is just really revolutionary. If you're an AI developer, like I'm sure we're going to get millions of these. Like anybody who wants to develop for AI, is going to probably pick these up as soon as they can. It just has a lot of potential.
But I mean, is this for AI developers or graphics developers or just everyone?
This is for anyone who. I think it's like I said, it's not just a gaming machine.
Sure. Right.
It's not simply. If you're a content creator of any kind, if you're a developer, or you run video, or you create content sometimes, if you do anything that's multi-threaded, if you render 3D scenes or just anything, if you need a lot of multitasking power, this just changes the way you work, changes the way you can take it to your office, you can use it on all-day battery life, you can play games when you get home, you can do these crazy, insane workflows that just don't happen on anything else. So like I said, it's a really different product, and I cannot wait to get one.
Yeah.
Because it's my kind of workflow too. Exactly. Like I do that stuff.
I mean, we know that Arrow Lake is a little bit, deficient on the performance side of things. I mean, I guess AMD was touting the fact that it has about 258% the graphics performance of the 288V, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it like you can game on this in this form factor. It's about as fast as a 4070. Trading blows. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Now, if I wanted to buy a gaming PC, though, and I wanted it to be AMD, do I buy the HX3D parts, or do I buy the Strix Halo?
If you're a gamer,
If I want to play, we've mentioned this in the context. We mentioned AI Max in the context of games as also content creation. But HX3D is really more of a gaming part. But
yes.
Which is the better part for gamers?
If it's just pure frame rates, HX3D.
Okay.
If it's livability along with almost as much performance on the CPU side and portable gaming, it is for sure Ryzen Max. There's no one flavor for everybody. It's really, everybody has their own way they use computers or want to use computers.
Right.
And that dictates what kind of hardware. It's not one size fits all anymore. It's not like every laptop's the same. They're so vastly different. So, just be you and enjoy what you appreciate and make sure you get the hardware that suits you.
And just to recap, we have the Max 390 and the Max Plus 395, again, plus being plus and yay.
Plus meaning the fastest.
Yeah, exactly. So the 390 is 12 cores, 24 threads, 5 gigahertz, 76 megabytes cache, 32 CUs. The Max Plus 395 is 16 cores, 32 threads, 5.1 gigahertz, 80 megas of cache, 40 CUs. Also, both of them have 50 peak tops, so obviously AI capabilities.
50 peak tops just on the NPU.
Just on the NPU, exactly.
And then if you're running AI on the graphics, it's very powerful with Ryzen AI Max.
The two don't necessarily work in cohesion with one another, not without software support, I suppose.
No, or you could run separate things on separate things,
exactly.
right? But
that's right.
When that becomes heterogeneous, I think the Windows world is working towards there.
We're still waiting for that.
But we'll get there. It'll be a few
exactly.
years, but I think we'll get there.
Yep. So that's it pretty much for the CPUs. My colleague, your friend Adam, obviously knows is going to focus a little bit more on the Z2 series for handheld PCs. He's also going to be in conversation with Frank Azor. You can look him up on that, talking about AMD's new graphics, which again they sort of passed over a little bit in the keynote, but we'll have a few more details about that hopefully as well. So again, thanks very much for your time, Donny.
My pleasure.
I'm Mark Hockman from PC World. Keep it tuned to PC World's YouTube channel and to PCWorld.com for all the news coming out of CES.